Testing out the deck on NPG Goldfish. It is the Simic Evolve with the Pelt Collector Evolve, rather. And yeah, going to shuffle my deck and we can get right into it. The main goal of the deck, the win con, one might say, is to play a Pelt Collector or Experiment 1, turn 1, and from there on, put out slightly bigger creatures. Some have Undying, which, if you don't know, whenever it dies, if it does not have a 1/1 counter on it, it comes back with a 1/1 counter on it. And therefore, it will pump up your Pelt Collector and or your Experiment 1s. This deck is running a astonishingly low number of lands. 19, I believe. Maybe 17. This is the full main deck for the Blue-Green Evolve. And let's get into it. No lands. So that is a small issue with this deck. The highest CMC among cards is probably about 2, maybe 3. Given all the very low amount of lands. But yeah, as with every deck, you will encounter no land hands or 1 land hands. But usually this deck thrives off of 1 land hands. I know I have on more than one occasion. One land hand, as I was talking about. It is a Hinterland Harbor. I got Blossoming Defense, Vapor Snag, Rapid Hybridization. Cloudfin Raptor is a 0/1 Flying Evolve, an Experiment 1. So, assuming our opponent goes first, we will draw, play a Hinterland Harbor tapped, then it will be our opponent's turn. Be our turn next, we will untap. Then you always want to play the Cloudfin first, because anything after that, it will level it up. And we'll draw yet again. Strangle Rootgeist is a very good card in this deck. It's haste and undying. It really puts your opponents through a dilemma of sorts. We'll play tap 1 to play a Pelt Collector. The Cloudfin Raptor will go up 1. And then we return again. And we will play a Experiment 1. Same thing as Pelt Collector, except you can remove 2 from this to regenerate it. And as long as Pelt Collector has 3 or more +1/+1 counters, it is trample. Always good. Then we will swing with the 1 for our opponent. That'll knock him down to good old 19. Our turn again. We'll draw. Swing with another 1. Blossoming Defense on it, just for kicks. And then that will mean our opponent will take 3 more. Down to 16. Back in our turn. We'll draw, play Yavimaya Coast. It's a pain land. You can tap to add a colorless to your mana pool, or you can tap to add blue or green to your mana pool, but you do take 1 damage. Then you will want to play Strangle Rootgeist. Whenever that comes in, all of your creatures will get a 1/1, except the Strangle Rootgeist, of course. And then this is whenever things start getting big. You also take 1 from the Yavimaya Coast. You want to attack with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8 with the Strangle Rootgeist, because it is one of the few green creatures that has haste. Assuming they would... For this, you may actually not want to attack with the Pelt Collector Experiment 1, just because of how vital they are to this. But you would definitely want to attack with the Cloudfin and Strangle Root. Assuming they take 4, because who wants to kill the Strangleroot and make everything even bigger. Then over to them and back to us. An island, cool and stable island, so it makes it even better. And give us 3 lands. Now what you want to do is rapid hybridization the Strangleroot. It destroys it, and the controller of that creature gets a 3/3 frog. So a 3/3 will come in first, and then that will pump up the Cloudfin, the Pelt Collector, and the Experiment one. And then the Strangleroot will also come in with a 1/1 counter on it. And your team gets even bigger, and nothing happens because of the stack and just how it works in general. Sorry, knocked you over there. And now is a very good time to play Avatar of the Resolute. When it comes in, it gets +1/+1 for each other creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. So what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4 +1/+1s. That is what I'm using to signify the token. And I'm just going to slip a card under there just so I know. So it will come in with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. And nothing happens because of that. Actually, yes. No, never mind. I'm losing it. And then you will want to attack with a Cloudfin Experiment one, because you could always just regenerate it. And Strangleroot. At this point, they could be blocked, but we could always regenerate the Experiment one, and Strangleroot Geist has already done his job. So, assuming they take 3 in the air from the Cloudfin, but also block the Strangleroot. So they would take 3 from Cloudfin and 3 from Experiment 1. And that would knock them down to, they're at 11. So that would knock them down to 5. Then it would be their turn. Then it will be our turn yet again. Got another Pelt Collector. At this point, we could swing with just the Cloudfin, and before they block, you can tap a Hinterland Harbor to play Blossoming Defense on it, giving it +2/+2. It's making it a 5/5, and killing our opponent because they only had 5 life left. Stay tuned till I get all my cards picked back up. I will show you what the deck is made of, what kind of cards it has. Really, the only card I didn't see was Young Wolf. My play group doesn't especially like it, because I've been told it just runs the same 4 copies of each card, which isn't quite true. It runs 2 Avatar of the Resolute. But other than that, it's mostly, mostly what they say. It's mostly just 4 copies of the same cards. I will see you after I go get all of these picked up. Feel free to fast forward if I have not cut the video. And if I have cut the video, then I will see you in a couple of seconds. Hello and welcome back. I have just laid out my cards, not very neatly if I do have to say so myself. And we will start at the top left. We have 2 copies of Dispel. It's counter target instant spell. It is 1 blue. Just for a little bit of, is it hate or so? Any flash that might be happening. Then we have 4 copies of Pelt Collector. 4 copies of Experiment 1. 4 copies of Cloudfin Raptor. And we do actually have 4 copies of Avatar the Resolute, which I had not known before. 4 copies of Rapid Hybridization. 1 copy of Pongify, same thing as Rapid Hybridization. 3 Blossoming Defenses. 4 Stringleroot Geist, it is the 2-1 with Haste and Undying. 4 Vapor Snacks. 2 Unsubstantiates, I believe. 4 copies of Young Wolf, it is a 1-1 Undying. We have 3 Charter Courses. And then we have 2 basic islands, 4 basic forests, 3 botanical sanctums. It is a fast land from Kaladesh. It taps for Simic. Avamaya Coast is the Simic Painland, 4 of those. 4 Hinterland Harbors. And that is it. The sideboard is, let me see here.